Let me now introduce you to, in the meantime you are changing, I will read.
Yourself? Now I'm gonna name my pet dinosaur Reginald. I just hope he doesn't eat me. We can't just study history, we gotta make history. And history is made by ordinary people. Ordinary people like you and me. And that guy. The world's greatest thinkers. Confucius, Albert Einstein, Justin Timberlake. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like me. But I put my pants on one leg at a time while I'm dancing. You can go by. Yeah. You're gonna be in the video though. Life is school, and you gotta show up. You can't just sleep in. You can't be late. And you can't just hang out in the bathroom, that's gross. It's like what Whitman said, YOLO. Except he didn't say that, but you would know that if you would read a book, baby. Seriously, read a book, any book except the vampire ones. You wanna change the world? You gotta know about it. What if Shakespeare didn't go to school? His plays would be even more confusing. To be or not to be? Is that the question? I don't know what a question is. I didn't go to school. Anybody? Help me out here. I got a question for you. What are you teaching the world? How to be boring? How to make the world sad? No, you're not. We're teaching the world what it looks like to be awesome. No matter who you are, somebody's learning from you. Everybody's a teacher and everybody's a student. Look for the awesome. Teachers see things. They see when you're running down the hall. They see when you're passing notes. But they also see the person that we can all become someday. A writer or a speaker or Martin Luther King. Teachers, keep teaching. Students, keep studenting. That's not a word. Sorry about that. Here's the teachers that see the awesome. The homework is this. What do you want to teach the world? Do it. Let's make some history together because it's simple math. Together, we're better. Those girls are a little too loud. Is there a teacher who inspires you? Let them know. This is for teachers everywhere. So share it with them. We gotta make the world awesome. Somebody's learning from you. I'm out. Get to learn all. We're making history. I'm gone.
Great. So hopefully that motivates you guys a little bit to get started. Now I want to share just a quick story of how education really, or how technology helped me, right? So the bio says it. I used to be in the Army. I was a captain in the Army. I deployed to Iraq, and I was in charge of a bunch of guys. And I also had to meet the guy in the blue over there on the right was an Iraqi police chief. And there was a bunch of violence, a lot of stuff happening, and the guy just didn't know what roads he was responsible for, where crime was coming from. And all that came down to is the guy didn't even have a map. He had no idea what the roads' names were, where the houses were. And so I couldn't share the maps that the military had given me because they were top secret maps and whatnot. So what I did was I went back to Google Earth, printed a bunch of maps, and created a big map of the area that he was responsible for. Took it to his office, and it was the first time this 40-something-year-old guy was able to see an overhead image of what his town looked like. So this is just a quick anecdote to show you guys the power of technology. You know, I taught this guy something, and then in turn, he was showing his map to everybody else. So he empowered his police force to do better police work. So just a quick story on how technology works and how thinking outside the box can help out. So my goal here at the end of this is to answer 3 questions. It's, what does the future of education look like? We already know what the past is. I'll jump into that for a little bit. Second thing is, what does Google have to do with this? What kind of tools are available? And what does this mean for you, not me? So this is the 1950s on your left, and then on the right, that's kind of what it looks like now. So in 50 years, stuff really hasn't changed much. I know we've introduced technology slowly in some of the more progressive schools, but if you go throughout America, you're going to see this kind of classroom still. And so that's our job to change, right? Everybody here has to implement technology, both on the teacher side and both on the student side. And I don't know if you remember growing up. I grew up here in New York City. I grew up in Queens, and we didn't even have a tech corner. It was just, you know, I don't know. Do you guys remember that? These like these like weirdo computers off to the side that didn't even work and like took forever to start up. You know, luckily, more schools are starting to implement more technology, but I guarantee you that the majority of the country still has this tech corner, right? And so that's the important part, is knowing this, knowing the past, knowing what we have, and making sure that this doesn't happen anymore. And the way we're going to do that is by building access, allowing people like you, people like me, smaller children nowadays to have access to these technologies, and bring these opportunities to learn and to interact and to share with others that they never had before. And the purpose of doing that is so that we can create innovators, scientists, astronauts, all this stuff. So what is technology going to do to us? It's going to allow us as students, allow you guys as students to become better leaders. And what does that really mean? It's like, oh, you give me a laptop, I'm going to lead you. No, it's going to be group projects. Now I can be the I can be the member and dictate what I want for the objectives. It's going to empower the educators to guide even better. Imagine the days where we had snow days. Nowadays, you can teach from your house doing a video conference. The right content is king. We don't need these big textbooks anymore. We can just download them online and then get to work. And so Google has a program called Google for Education, where we invest a ton of money in supporting innovation. And it starts all the way down from, I think it's kindergarten, and it goes all the way through college. What we're doing is we're embedding ourselves in communities, not just the affluent communities that have the access to this stuff, but everywhere around the country, to include New York City, to try to get people to embrace technology and embrace innovation. And the way we do that is by providing the tools and solutions, whether it be devices, whether it be software, whether it be internships to get guys to come to us. So I'll just show you another video. I love videos, by the way, so I'm just going to show you another video to really explain this better. So what you saw there, yeah, it's like an elementary school example, but apply that to college, apply that to your everyday lives. How many of you guys already use Google Docs or Google Slides or Google Sheets? That is awesome. Keep doing that. And you guys know the power of that and what it's doing to schools and what it's doing to you as future leaders in technology, as future leaders in the workforce. You're becoming more interactive. You no longer have to go take the subway all the way to your friend's house or try to find a ride anymore. You can just do it from your own house, interact, see the person, be in the same dock, and I'll show you examples of that a little later. Actually, this whole presentation is on slides right now, so I don't even have to download it. It's on the internet. So what Google's done is we've linked in over 40 million students and faculty using these Google apps that you guys already know about. Do you guys know about Chromebooks? Does anybody own one? A Chromebook? Okay, so we've donated a ton of Chromebooks, and we've also made it really accessible and really cheap. So Chromebooks now cost about $149. It's an internet-based laptop, and it works. Everything is online. You don't need to download apps or antivirus software, because once you're connected, like the video showed us, we take care of all the antivirus stuff, all the security features, and it's constantly being updated so your computer doesn't go to crap after, I don't know, a year and a half or so, right? And then this is the slide I really wanted to talk to you guys about. If you don't already know the suite of services out there that are provided for free by Google. You saw the example of Google Docs. Another one is calendars. This is something that I use almost every day when I work. Is, let's say I want to have a meeting with somebody. They just say, hey, put time on my calendar. I can look them up if they're part of my group. I can look them up and set aside 30 minutes and then easily have a meeting with them. So let's apply that to education. You know, a teacher can put down a 30-minute block of time to go over and do a one-on-one session with a student. And they don't even have to be next to each other to do that. They don't have to agree. They don't have to talk over it. They can just access each other's information and then get on and interact. Everybody have Gmail or any kind of email? It doesn't matter if it's Gmail or not. I would prefer if it was, but you know, think about what email's done. You know, I think the first email was sent in '96, or President Clinton sent the first email in '96 or something like that. And then think about what the evolution of that has been, how we're so connected via Gmail and all of our different apps. I'd like to talk about Drive. So Google Drive, this presentation is currently on Google Drive. So that whole cloud system, you also know it as the cloud, and other companies call it other things. But it's an unlimited storage space because it's the internet, right? You guys, I don't know if you guys don't remember, I used to have an external hard drive. It was like 200 gigs, and it's like $600 to pay for that stuff. This is completely free. It's technically an external hard drive. All you need is an internet connection. And then finally, Google Hangouts. This is something I was talking about. It's pretty cool. When I have a lot of teammates that work in different countries and different states. And so I have two members of my team that work in Argentina, and we have meetings via Google Hangouts, or it's kind of like Skype for your computer, or you know, I actually do it on my phone. So you know, we can share materials. They can share their screen with me, and I can be online and interact and have a business meeting, and not have them be present. So think about what that does to education. How many snow days did we have this year? I don't remember, but we had a couple of snow days here where classes were canceled. And you know, to me, there's no excuse anymore to cancel classes. Now that teacher has a tool like this that's available for free, can connect and invite. I think it says up to 15. I think we just updated it to 32 people. Up to 32 people have a Blackboard in his house or his home office or whatever it is, and connect with students like you for free. And you no longer have to miss class or have to make up that day, and everything can stay on track. So that's awesome. And I don't know if you guys already seen this, just how it works, right? Multiple people in one document can be updating at the same time. And that's awesome. I don't know how annoying it was back in the day to have group projects, and then we're like, somebody had to send you the doc, and then you had to download it, and then you had to update it and then send it back. Is that annoying? Does that make sense to some? All right, cool, because this is awesome. And it works for tablets, it works for your phone, it can work for your computer, so if you're on the go, you're always accessible to do all your schoolwork. You can also create forms. I wasn't at this party, but I wanted to go. And you can create forms, for RSVPs, but think about what it does for if you're trying to do some research, right? You can create a form, send the link out to all your friends and families, and get these responses. It'll aggregate all the responses. And in this is called Google Sheets. It's similar to Excel, but it's an online-based system. You can also share documents and update at the same time. But you can now, you just have so much more research power, so much knowledge to really get to the base of what you're trying to do in your everyday lives, right? So you no longer have to go on the street and have paper and try to have people find out and fill out a survey. You can just send them this link. incorporate your families or your friends or your big networks, and have these responses instantaneously and get all the research you've done, saving you a ton of time to interact with actual people. So it's a good example here. Connecting via Hangouts. There's this huge movement in the, how many of you guys have like part-time jobs or work outside school? Okay. So there's a new thing called bring your own device. So this is my personal phone, and companies are encouraging this. About 74% of people bring their smartphone to work and use it as their work device. So when I do business calls, it's on my phone, because I don't want I don't want to be stuck on my desk talking on I don't know, like one of those corporate phones and whatnot. So I can always do these calls at the airport. I can do my phone calls everywhere. And I can use the Hangout tool. This is kind of a screenshot of what it looks like when you see people on your phone or on your desktop or your tablet. And it's just great. It's just empowering to see how far we've gotten so far. And now,
opportunities that they will have in the future.
right? So that's the future. That's, we're behind that. Our generation is. But your kids and my kids are going to grow up. They're already growing up with devices in their hands, right? And so it's just great to be living in this transformational world right now where technology is really at the forefront of everything that we do. How many of you guys, this is kind of funny, how many of you guys get impatient when like, I don't know, you can't find something and you just need it right away, right? Yeah, right? So like you go straight to this thing because you need information right now and it's fast. There's no excuse not to know anything anymore, right? So I don't even know why Jeopardy exists, because like you could just go on Jeopardy and like know all the answers. But it's just great. It's great to know that, as a society, what's it doing to society? We're getting a lot of, smarter people, and there's no excuse anymore. That's why it's getting more competitive to get into a lot of these colleges. It's because all these free tools that Ubelkis was talking about, I mean, you can now study for free online for the GRE or the SATs or whatever it is. There's no excuse anymore to have a lesser GPA. It's all about effort. So really think about that stuff, especially when you get into the workforce, because it's free resume tools, right? She was talking about free resume tools, and all this stuff is online. So content is king is one of our big tenets here. I already talked about this. I was a nerd in high school that had the big backpack. Do you guys remember that? Like the big guys with the backpacks. And there's no need for that, right? There's no need to hurt these kids' backs anymore. Like let's get away from this. Let's go on a content store. This is the Google Play Store, where you can buy economic books, where you can buy the classics, some of which are provided for free through some of our partner school programs. But there's no need to number one, waste trees and all that green stuff. But number two is to just carry this stuff. There's just less space that we have. Here's some apps for teachers. I personally use the Scanner app. I don't know if you guys have that. It's called the Cam Scanner. It's awesome. If you ever need to scan anything, you just literally use your phone, and it creates a PDF document that you can send. It's saved my life so many times. And it's great because it's saving money, right? I don't need to buy a scanner anymore, or I don't need to be in the office. I can literally scan something and get after it. There are a bunch of classroom apps. Ubelkis was talking about Blackboard system. That's something I used when I was in college. And so, these apps are endless. I was just looking at the Google Translate app. We just updated it where now when you go somewhere, you can put up your phone. Let's say there's a sign in a different language. You can put up your phone and it'll translate it for you right away. That is awesome. Think about Google Translate. Yeah. 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 Google Translate is called. Yeah, go to the App Store, download it, and yeah, and that was awesome. I mean, think about what that does to everyone. There's no excuse anymore to go to a country and not know what the signs are and to get lost. It's pretty awesome, and I encourage you guys to take a look at it. This is something that our CEO and founder, Larry Page, said, is if you're not doing some things that are crazy, then you're doing the wrong things. And so at Google, we have this mantra. It's called Think 10X. So don't think of the next idea. Think of the next idea's idea. Just think beyond that. Think so far that you can't even imagine stuff. So an idea that was born out of this kind of thinking was the Google Glass. So this is a story that was told to me. Larry Page goes to the engineering team and he says, I think it would be cool if you could wear a computer on your body. And he's like, so he took off his sunglasses and he threw it on the desk. And he's like, I want a computer on those sunglasses. And that's where the idea for Google Glass was born. Guys were like, this is impossible. How are we going to do this? And now we're back. We tested it out in the market, and now we want to make it even sleeker and make these ideas even better. Another thing that we're doing is we have a project called Project Loon, L-O-O-N, or short for balloon, where we're bringing 3G Wi-Fi technology to different parts of the world that don't have internet. So we're connecting millions and millions of users through the use of these balloons, these blimps, that basically hover over parts of Africa and Southeast Asia. And it's providing and it's sending signals down to people that have phones, because the whole world's connected. Everybody has phones, right? And then I just want you guys to take a look. This is the year of search. Some of this stuff you'll probably remember from last year. But just think about, when you watch this video, think about how much you remember from it, because everything here was on the internet. So.
Here's what gives us hope. The world knows how to fight this disease.
Here we go. Ready?
Did you hear those words?
Just rendezvousing with this comet is an extraordinary thing. We're going to make discoveries that no one's imagined yet.
So that's a year in search. That's if you go on Google/trends, you can see what's trending online, and you can just get so much information out there. One thing I didn't really talk about was YouTube. So that was all the videos that you've seen have been YouTube videos, and I'll share a quick story with you. So I got out of the Army last year in August, and I was looking for jobs in finance, but I had 5 years of experience in non-financial stuff, right? And I went to YouTube and I started searching finance theory. I needed to find out stuff, and sure enough, MIT had the business school at MIT had a course, all of their material, all of their 20 lessons for free. All I had to do was go to their website and sign up, and I was able to order the textbook and literally teach myself finance theory. And so somebody like me can do it. Luckily, I didn't get a finance job. which is great. But that's the power of YouTube. That's the power of online content. And that's the power that you guys have in your hands, literally on your phones, to go out and get yourself to be smarter and to compete with that next person that also has these tools available. So I'll repeat again, it's no longer that you grew up on unlevel playing fields. The playing field is becoming more level. It's up to you guys to actually put the hard work in and beat the next guy or the next girl. This is a quick story about Fernanda. She's a student in Oakland, in a really crappy part of Oakland. Her school enrolled in the Chromebook program. She was always interested in online gaming, and through the use of her Chromebook, she researched it, she learned it, and she released, I think it's at the age of 15, she released her own video game in the App Store. So that's kind of cool that a kid like that could easily leverage technology to make something better for society or something to give back to society. So that's the end of my real speaking portion. I think we have about 10 minutes of questions. You can ask me questions about anything, growing up in New York City or like whatever it is that you guys want. Go ahead. All right, so the question was, how does Google help entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs? Yeah, so we partner with a lot of organizations that we bring young entrepreneurs in to take a look at Google. Like, what are you interested in specifically? Fashion and art? Okay, so I think we have internships. Most of our internships are tech-related, technology-related and stuff, but like, top of my head, I can think of graphic arts. That's leveraging technology to do something cool. And you can create programs nowadays. Think about back in the day, people had to draw for fashion and arts. Now you have an entire program available online. And so, to get to your question, we do partner. I can talk to you offline. We do partner we have a small entrepreneur program in all of our offices. We have our office here is in Meatpacking District. That's where I work, up on 14th Street, to the Port Authority building. And we can definitely get you linked up to see what the application process is like, and then move on from there. Yeah, I don't need the mic.
How do we go about getting support from Google for software development in the educational technology space? We have some projects that we've been working on. It'll be great to partner with you guys to try to get something going. How does one go about doing that?
For the recording, sorry. I got in trouble. So it allows us to link with interested partners like you, with teachers, to connect students and to connect all that technology that you saw, all those programs and apps. Check out the link. I'm not really very embedded in that, but I know for a fact that we do partner. I see school-grade children all the way to college kids come and visit our campus all the time. And sit with program developers and software developers, and I'm specifically in sales, but we also do advertising sales for programs as well. Anybody else? No? All right, well, I'm going to ask you guys questions then. Yep.
How difficult is to get a job in Google?
That's a good question. So, yeah, from my experience, look, that's such a hard question because, you guys probably heard the statistics. I think it's like 4 million applicants and I don't know how many jobs. It's like less than 0.02% of people that apply to Google get in and whatnot. But the real thing to show you guys is to create, they really want people from diverse backgrounds. So they're not school snobs like most companies are, like, oh, what school did you go to? They want to see a full-rounded individual, somebody that's had experience, somebody that they call it bias to action, googliness, is to, how do you demonstrate your googliness? What kind of stuff have you done, not just for yourself, but to empower others, to teach others? Are you collaborative? Because all this role-related knowledge stuff, you can learn, as I said earlier, you can learn all of this stuff, right? You can learn software development, you can learn finance, you can learn whatever it is. It's all online, it's all free. What are you bringing to the table as a person? Have you been a leader somewhere? Do you have bias to action? Are you gonna go and, I don't know, create a project? There's a funny, I think it's a mind game that they play with us, that when you first join the company, they give you a sheet of these things, and the guy tells you, hey, we looked through all of the resumes in this class about 60 to 70 people, and in order to network and find out others, like what others' backgrounds were, you go around asking people, hey, did you do any of this stuff? Some of the stuff is like published a book, traveled to over 40 countries, ran 4 marathons. Somebody else, what was the another one? Like created prosthetic limbs for children. And sure enough, you go around the room and you're like, oh, did you do this? Yes. Yes, I wrote a book. Yes, I did this. Yes, I ran a marathon. And at the end of the exercise, they say, we actually didn't ask anybody and look through anybody's resumes. It's just we've received so many different people that have just done this stuff. And so, my challenge to you guys is participate in society. Do things that you really love to do, and then come back when the time comes, not just for Google, but for any job nowadays. It's just, they're not looking for the smartest person. They're looking for the person that can innovate, because our generation nowadays doesn't have that stigma where we have to stay in that one job where it's just good enough to get that job and stay with it forever, right? My wife recently was in finance and just didn't like it, and so she quit and joined Google about 2 weeks ago, because she can, because that's part of our millennial culture is we want to be happy with our lives. It's not just enough to get a paycheck. We want to do good work and be happy at work, right? So, sorry, I don't even know that was the answer to your question. Okay, cool. Anything else? Anything about like culture or like, I don't know. What, are you guys still in school? Like, what's the demographic of the audience? Yeah, okay. Like third year, second year? Senior years? Senior years, so you guys are looking into getting out into the workforce and all that? That means you graduate in May? You're what? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. No, that's awesome. And everybody's from New York? No? And Jersey? All right. Cool. Cool. Awesome. That's good. Any other questions that you guys may have? Anything that, I don't know, don't feel like, that's my pet peeve, is like when people don't ask questions and then they come find you afterward. And it's like, dude, I gotta go now. I gotta go to the bathroom. So, go ahead.
Are there any available projects on the internet you could work on if you're aspiring to become a computer programmer or a software engineer or anything computer related? Because I remember I need to work on projects and stuff like that to build myself up.
So yeah, it's funny, I had a kid that taught himself code online. And that's just the power of search, right? Just google.com, programming, whatever it is, courses, and then he taught himself online. There's a great website that we partner with. It's called lynda.com, Lynda. And so for my job, I use a lot of data, like data mining, and so I really needed to know passwords or not shortcuts to really get through this data really fast, as opposed to manually filtering for stuff. Lynda.com offers courses, advanced Excel, how to do quantitative analysis. I think they have coding in there as well. You can find literally anything on there. And that's a great resource. And I think they partner with schools and companies to provide education for their employees and their students. And then go on YouTube. I mean, that's another resource. Like, start from the basics. I guarantee you, if you use your phone right now and go on YouTube and type in, I don't know, coding or software development or whatever it is, you can probably find something. Yeah.
Off topic. I read somewhere about some geothermal power plant that Google was investing in, or some technology that Google's investing. I don't know if that's a rumor or not. Maybe you could talk a little bit more about that. Or if you heard, basically harnessing energy from the earth to try to pay for to offset the energy to power all the servers you guys have. I don't know if that's true or not, or I don't know.
No, but it does remind me of some good stuff. So we have these huge data centers, just ginormous data centers. Obviously, there's so much data, all these servers have to go somewhere, and they generate so much heat, right? So Google has created these data, or have built these data centers specifically in, I don't know if it's geothermal, but they choose the locations, very specific locations, in order to, rather than spend so much money on air conditioning and then, trying to be green, they use the terrain to siphon off all of that heat and just give it back. I know they go really green. Obviously solar panels is one of the things that they use, but it's tremendous what they do with these. I mean, these are probably like the size of this entire school. That's how big a data center is, and they're able to do it effectively. I think forgot what the figure was, but more so than any other company, they're the ones that are just producing the least amount of whatever emissions or whatever it is. Anything else? I think we have about 2 minutes. 2 minutes? 2 minutes? Okay, cool. Great. So thanks for your time, guys. And this is great. The fact that you guys are here already shows some initiative, some kind of leadership, right? Really go back and do something big, do something better. Go get maps for Iraqi people. That's kind of like where it begins, where the learning process begins. And then for the educators here is like, encourage your students to do that. Encourage your students to get out there and leverage free stuff. I say it again, there's no need for anyone not to know anything anymore. Before, there's a 20-minute rule where if you can't solve something, this is for my job, if you can't solve something or figure it out in 20 minutes, go ask somebody else. But I guarantee you can probably solve 95% of your questions within 20 minutes, right? So think about that and apply it to your lives. Cool. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, just in time.